I do grow the common sage herb in my garden, or salvia. They are perennial and they do last through our long winters because they're not super, super harsh winters. I rotate and keep 2 plants, may have more this year now that I think of it. But though a perennial, they start to not produce as well in the 3rd year, so I replace them. Thankfully, they're hardy, at least for me here in my zone, as long as you put them in sun and don't waterlog them, have some good drainage. They grow very well for me. Finally, getting around to the sage, collecting dust, I think it was. Sage is a pretty important herb for me. I use it in a lot of my cooking. Well, my French onion soup, my version, I guess, wouldn't be without a lot of sage in it. Stuffing, obviously, makes it more elegant, I think, with sage. And yeah, roast vegetables, anything. It's good in a lot of dishes. It's very pungent, so you have to be careful what dishes you use it in, but some you can go to town with it. And the oils, the essential oils, they're supposed to be very good for you. Good for the stomach, I think it is. Of course, there's lots of claims about all kinds of herbs, but it's natural. That's why I believe it. You make sage tea. It's good for your what ails you too. Oh, what a gorgeous smell. Picking away at things because I have some time, and Happy New Year, by the way. It's nice to be off, and I've got to assess. It's that time of year for us gardeners, isn't it? We don't have anything else to do, so we take stock of where we are, what we want for our dreams for the New Year's garden. Check our seeds. Do we have enough? The catalogs come and taunt us. Last year I did very well in not buying as many seeds. It was sort of a mission to me. You can get ridiculous. All of you gardeners know this. We can just go crazy. You always want more seeds, and you always want to try different things, and that's fine. I have enough space. I can try different things, and I will always do that, and it's fun. And I believe that if you don't try different things, because some people say just stick to what you like, well, then you'll never like other things. Grow something a few times and you'll be addicted to it. So I don't know, I have a different idea on that. However, it is that time to look, and last year I did really, I think, a good job on not ordering anything I didn't need. I hardly ordered seeds, and what I mean by what I did order, that was potatoes and onions, which I will always order. So same for this year. I've gone through my packs. I'm going through the catalogs too. It's always something new that I want to try. Smells so lovely. They say, there's a saying, a medieval saying. Oh, I'm going to get it wrong. But it's something like, no, what man can die if he has sage in his garden? Pretty strong claim. But who am I to argue? I'll put it in my garden. So I'm going to get on with this. I've got a few other tasks I have to do, or want to do. Don't have to do anything, but I want to. One of them is I have to go through my potatoes, see what I have. It's part of the assessing. It's seeing how well did I do. And we had a really great, productive year. I was so pleased that at the end of the year, and still tons, of how much food. I didn't think I was doing that great because I didn't water anything, and I didn't think 2021 was a banner year for me. But, you know, as far as productivity went, my goodness, we never needed to buy anything at the grocery store. And we had the selection and the food that I made from it, because you get so inspired when you grow your own. Gosh, I just cooked my little heart out, one of my favorite things to do, and tried so many. I went to, many sites to look up different countries' main foods, and really explored that side of my cooking, which is great fun. I tend to stick to French and Italian, and so we had some fun with that, and fresh veg. So it was a very good year. However, at this time now, I'm going to go into my utility room and see what potatoes are left. And I know what onions and garlic I have left. They're hanging. Doing very well with those. Onions, I might get there, I think. I use them sparingly. You get to a point where you have less and you start using it sparingly and switch to other. I have a lot of beautiful frozen vegetables that work well frozen, and using a lot of those too. Carrots did not do good on. Got to get more carrots. I don't like them frozen anyway, so once they're frozen and thawed, yeah. So I like doing it in the buckets that I bring in the garage, but I need a lot more of those. Anyway, I'll get on with my sage and throwing it all over myself. And bring it along with whatever I'm up to as I putter around. Dump my potatoes all out. Still a good few, and they're holding up really well. I keep them at room temperature, really, in my utility room. There's some sprouting on some of the early ones pulled. I just knock those off at this stage. I'm just going to put the fingerlings, the purple Peruvian, in one basket, put it in my pantry. They hold up incredibly well, right through. And I'll just gather a few to put in a basket to keep in my pantry, and the rest, once I knock most of the tops off, I'll put away. Potatoes are also important in our garden. They can get a bad rap, sure. If you eat an abundant amount of potatoes, it turns to sugar, like bread would. So we don't, I try not to eat too much of either of those two. But they do certainly provide nutrients and very important role in storage over the winter, food. Here's one of those new veg that I'm trying out this year. In fact, I couldn't wait for the garden, though I will be putting these in my garden. I had to seed some over the winter just for fun. I won't pronounce it, because I'm sure I'll say it wrong. But it's supposed to be a phenomenally tasty, stunning new superfood with 4 times as much vitamin A as carrots. Cross between tatsoi and katsuma. So, heat and cold tolerant and suitable for most zones. So I've got good hopes for that. Look at the picture of it. Isn't it lovely? While puttering around, I'm just simmering some berries. I'm simmering actually some of those, that you see there, the partridge berries and black currant. I just do it as we require them, as we want it, rather than to make it. It's such a big chore if at the end of the season I take all my berries and I make a bunch of jams, when that's probably not what I want to do with all these berries anyways. I have baked pies and cakes and nice little cheesy desserts, and I just love them actually put into plain yogurt. I even use the jam, a low sugar, where you don't need a lot of sugar with some of these, and put it in and mix it with yogurt. Yum yum, and smoothies. But today I just made a little batches of jam. Bruce said we were out. And finished baking off some bread I had started. And we got, I get every year an annual, from my employer, a box of seafood, which is gorgeous. So I just made, put some scallops and shrimp and a lovely cream sauce in scallop shells. Well, thanks so much for visiting with me. Hope you have a wonderful week.